assurance, which means microwave testing and oven testing, so the directions that you see on your box: cook for 2 minutes on high, or bake at 400 at 300 for 20 minutes, something like that. We're involved with developing those specific plans for individual programs. And also product specifications. So we build formulas, and then we build specific data sheets that we go off of, and our plants go off of, so that we can ensure that things that we develop in the lab are produced similarly at the plant at a much larger scale. So my role at General Mills, I am a member of the sides group, which is which covers the Baco's, Bon Appetit, potatoes, and Suddenly Salad. My specific role there is formula development and optimization on the potato products, so shelf-stable potato products. My primary focus, so 60% of the time that when I'm at work, is I work on formula maintenance. So each specific product within potatoes, we have goals and initiatives set up to, well, for example, like cost-saving initiatives. So let's say we have existing formulas, and some supplier has a cheaper cheese powder that we want to explore. That's something that we like to do to save the company money, and ultimately make a better value for us as well as the customer. Removal, we also look at removing unwanted ingredients because of, let's say, company policy or even public policy. Sometimes one is driven by the other. That includes like trans fat or MSG, or just recently the diacetyl products. Some of those are cancer-driven. Some of them are just people don't like the sound of them in the label, so we try to get those out. So I also participate in shelf life studies. So that's means, so when you look at your product and you have a year shelf life or a 6-month use by date, we look at that. We take our formulas and stick them into certain rooms or certain equipment that simulate, let's say, 90-degree weather, or 120-degree warehouse, something that we know that our product may go through. So we try to anticipate that, and we develop those dates based off of the results from those tests. Lastly, the part of formula maintenance is that we collaborate with our labeling department and quality departments. General Mills is a fairly large company, so labeling is a specific department, and marketing and quality assurance and R&D, and they're all different sections and parts of General Mills. And so on my specific team, we have one person from that labeling department, and maybe 3 people from R&D, from our R&D group, and one person from marketing, and we meet together as a team. So I collaborate a lot with our labeling and quality people to make sure that the formulas that we develop are safe, and they follow FDA rules, and they also can be scaled up to large batches, so that we can make millions of pounds of product, as opposed to my benchtop where I'm making 1 or 2 pots of it. So my secondary focus, so 40% of the time generally, I spend on new product development and innovation for potatoes. So just recently I co-led a reformulation and I hope product improvement of the seasoned mashed potato line. So this is an example of it. It should be on shelves now in most food markets. but it's the box potatoes that we reformulated and did some consumer testing on to see what drove their thoughts of what makes homemade, and we tried to formulate our products to accomplish some of those things. I also, while trying to drive innovation and new development, we collaborate with our external suppliers and resources. So that not only means external food companies like McCormick or some other people. We also like to try to externalize other companies, other food companies, or ideas that they may bring forward that we might be able to apply for our needs. And lastly, I do collaborate and discuss with our marketing and consumer insights staff. Much like any food company or any company right now, it's all about making money and driving profit, as well as making sure that our consumers are happy, but making sure that when we put out products that they're marketable, that they're attractive, that they can bring in new customers and also keep the customers that we have right now happy. So, how does culinology assist me in my day-to-day work, and not only in maintenance, but also in innovation and development? I like to put it this way. I think that culinology, in my background of more or less with culinary arts, I'm surrounded with a lot of people that have food science degrees, and that be a bachelor's or a master's or even PhDs. Lots of people with food science degrees and chemical engineering degrees as well. But where this particular program has helped me is incorporating the culinary aspect of it. And I like to say that I'm able to look at a product with a wider lens, or even a recipe with a wider lens. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're looking at I don't know, tomato soup. Some people may look at that like, okay, it's just tomato soup. But as many of you know, that there's to make a good tomato soup, there's a lot of things that go into it, like herbs and other vegetables other than tomatoes. How long do you cook it? How long do you let it sit? Things like that. And that kind of leads into, I think, food science by itself, and what I've seen is that it's hard to describe something that's like Southwestern style or Italian or anything kind of like that. Being Southwestern or being Italian has nothing to do with chemicals or with molecular bonding or things to that nature. So I think culinology is that extra step. When you learn some of the chemical parts of different things, and then you're also able to put all those little components together to make something real. Yeah.
So you said you work with food scientists and chemical engineering, and then they have degrees from a I'm assuming that way it's like a PhD.
Yep.
Where do you fall? I mean, how much autonomy do you have compared to them? How much? I'm sorry, I'm assuming people with PhDs look down on people. That's my assumption. So do you feel any of that kind of politics in the workforce?
I don't actually. And that was one of the nice things that I did find at General Mills is that it's, although obviously there's different pay grades,
right.
It's unlike kind of like the academia world where you're put, I would say, on a pedestal maybe. You are looked at, if you had a PhD or whatnot, you are looked at as being like an expert or knowing